Hello everybody! Welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We are sans a nut button. Okay, there we go. This is session 35, and we played last week, right? It was the week before that we didn't play. Alright,
Correct.
it's been a long week, and I am ready to play some Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So let's jump into things. With a bit of a recap. Previously, in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the party found themselves in the cold, dank halls of the Sargoth level. Matashtai's divination kata had pointed them southeast, and while they knew the underground city of Skullport lay to the west, the party was willing to progress Matt's quest first. Still, the two halls before them led east and south, neither a clear shot towards their goal, and so the party chose east, and immediately found themselves exploring an ancient dwarven catacomb. They were respectful, unwilling to disturb the dead, and soon found themselves exploring tunnels to the north. After a short fight with some Grick and a short trip to the southeast, the party found themselves in a conversation with Ilnor, a drow mage, and his entourage of Quaggoths. The conversation went as well as it could, though it was clear Ilnor thought little of the party. Still, whatever his feelings, he did invite the party to speak with his mistress, though it seemed as more of a demand than a request. The party accepted and moved through the ancient dwarven temple complex, following Ilnor to its center. There, they found a spider's nest, and at its heart, Teresa, scion of House Ovrindar, the leader of the drow forces on this floor of Undermountain. The conversation with Teresa was brief, with Ilnor acting as mediator, since the drow priestess found the party unworthy of her direct attention. Ilnor, however, seemed certain that the party could be useful, and at the end of the discussion, the party was charged with bringing Teresa the head of Ezrah, hobgoblin leader of the Legion. The party wasn't given a choice in accepting this quest, and so decided it was better to leave with their mouths shut. They were escorted away by a drow guard and led back westward whence they had come. This escort took them south from the entrance of the third floor to the eastern ruins of Stromkolder. The party's escort did not dally and warned the party of the dangers they would face without an escort, so the party was unable to explore as they went. But after traveling through the extensive eastern ruins, they were led out south of Stromkolder and told to head west to find the Legion. Taking the opportunity, Matashtai once again performed his divination kata with the lodestone, now getting a bearing of due east, opposite of where they were told to go. Naturally, the party headed eastward and found themselves on the banks of the Sargoth River. Here they found rafts with long push poles ready for use. The party embarked and headed southward with the current of the river, bending southwest as they went, taking them further away from their goal. Because of this, they decided to beach their raft on the first bank they saw, a large cave mouth that resembled the maw of a great fish. Here they found a petrified statue of a princely man, his arm and part of his side shorn off. On the opposite riverbank, they saw a gondola and a cloaked ferryman. Ashes, in a sudden show of cheek, paid the ferryman for a future ride, and the party headed southeast to explore the cave. Within, they found a garden of cocoons and webs, too thick to burn away effectively. As soon as they entered the area, they came under attack by a crazed half-drow, half-spider, a Drider, driven mad and raving about his queen. The creature was dangerous, wielding a hefty bow and having the advantage of the terrain, or so it might have thought. Though the party did have some difficulty traversing the webs, their exceptional agility nulled the Drider's advantage. The creature proved no match for our heroes. After the battle, the party rested while Bones harvested the body. With that rest aside, the party now looks to a northeasterly tunnel, a promising match to the direction Matashtai's lodestone has pointed. So I'm gonna drop you guys on over from the Yawning Portal down to the Sargoth level.
Sargoth level.
Swap on over here. Alright, so take a moment to orient yourselves while I get the music playing.
Man, we are very far south.
Yeah, if you guys want to reference, I'm going to open it up actually real quick. If you want to reference the updated map to Sargoth level 3, you guys cleaved the map in twain, basically. So good job. Though, obviously, you did leave a large chunk of that area unexplored because you were unable to do so at the time. So, but the map has been updated with a couple of different locations, a couple things that you saw, etc. Keep in mind, right, those tunnels to the very south, those are the tunnels that I told you, right? They're the built-in Dungeon of the Mad Mage extra area tunnels, so don't worry about those. There's nothing.
You said the ones at the bottom?
Yeah, the ones at the very bottom.
Okay.
Yep. They lead off into the Underdark. Should we decide as a goblin party to do something later on?
I'm not going back into the ass. I won't do it again.
Nobody's gonna get
gracious.
that. Nobody's gonna get into the ass.
I guarantee
if
we
you
are
had
not
anybody
the
watching,
only D&D group that has dubbed that adventure into the ass.
Or out of the ass.
Or out of the ass.
Nice to see that your sloth balloon is still making an appearance.
Oh yeah, he's still.
I can't believe that thing's
still
still. Is it hanging on something, or does it still have helium?
It still has helium.
That's
Somehow.
amazing. That's some new age bullshit helium.
It's some new age bullshit of helium. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's from Valentine's Day.
One thing I'll do a phone call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So last I recall, we like short rested or something, right?
Yes, you guys have short rested.
Okay.
Yep. So everyone but you benefited from that short rest because you were
you
were harvesting.
I was working on something. I don't need that.
Yeah.
I need that.
And before you guys had entered into the cocoon area, right, into the cocoon garden, which you have for clarity, you have discovered the bodies within the cocoons are more petrified statues, right? But before you entered into that, Matashtai did another of his divination katas, and the direction was northeast.
I'm really concerned, guys. This thing didn't cause us to be petrified, so what did this?
I mean, we know Halaster has apparently a hard-on for making statues out of people. Maybe these were the ones he didn't want to keep.
You mentioned there was venom. There are some venoms that can do that.
Yeah, but I mean, I got bit. Ash has got bit. We're not stoned.
Yet.
Oh boy. How do you feel? Are you okay?
If this venom can make things stone, this is the best day ever.
Oh.
I mean, assuming we live and all.
Fair.
He's just petrified holding these two vials with this grin on his face because he's so excited. Oh, wait.
That's one of those poses where other adventurers will come by and be like, what's this dude's deal?
Right. He must have gone mad.
Was really into vials. Alright, so explore northeast then?
Yeah, I think that's the way Alas got a ping off the artifact, so...
I take off. Ezra, I don't know what you're gonna do. You'll be stuck forever. Oh, Ash's already up here, shit.
Yeah, Ashes is already up there. He was guarding that entry.
while we were short
while
resting.
you were resting. You all
As
make
well,
your
we did
way.
slowly-
Oh, we did a short rest. I should
Yeah,
probably.
you did do a short rest. You all made
not
your
roll
way
NFUs.
up to the northeasterly section where the web garden kind of ends. So,
That's a pretty good roll.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good for me. Ooh, oh, it's the water sounds.
Mitch is gonna have to pee in like 10 minutes,
Yep.
guys.
I'm gonna have to
Yep.
pee in like 10 minutes.
Drinking beer and water sounds? No, I'm gonna have to pee
I don't
every
hear
5
that.
seconds.
Is it too quiet for you?
I don't know. I just don't hear it. I don't care.
Okay. Oh. Well, that's good to know. All right.
I mean, I'll deal with it if I need to. I just don't want to.
No, you're fine. Okay, so you guys head northeast. As you approach, right, the tunnels to the northeast, they narrow drastically, right? You realize as you're going through here, it's going to be single file. It's going to be tight quarters, okay? There are sections where it... How far can you see? Yeah, well,
I can
Ashes
see
can
till
kind
right
of see a
here.
little bit. Ashes, where Ashes is standing, he can kind of see a little bit further. So, if you guys would like to head in there, go ahead. Just take things.
Are we going sneakily, or are we just kind of going?
Yeah, Bones, you want to go first, or should one of us?
I enter the night and say, "Give me 18 seconds," and then follow.
Okay.
Okay.
1 Mississippi.
Hold on,
2.
I gotta roll my stealth. Fuck off.
And if you want to give them like a specific
What's a Mississippi?
time frame,
I was just thinking it.
right. If you want to give them specific time frames, by all means,
it's-
do
it's
actually
place
like
in Eberron,
use
don't worry
legit
about it.
movement.
Yes, I am.
1 Waterdeep.
I mean, it wouldn't.
Two
It'd be
water.
fine if you weren't, but like
10,
that way
15,
you can actually see an actual estimate of how far you're going.
20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
So,
That's 18.
Bones, you begin to quietly make your way down this tunnel, and it's just twisting and turning back and forth in itself. And it's not super level the entire time either. It kind of dips and rises back and forth, but it never deviates to where it really like it scales upwards or downwards. Like you actually feel like you're going in a upwards or downwards motion. It's just a bumpy ride.
Okay.
Okay. All the
Stop here,
while,
now wait.
right? Every 6 seconds or so, you hear that.
Oh yeah, like the tap being turned on.
Oh, I've heard about that. Okay, 18 seconds pass, we go.
So everyone can start moving slowly through the tunnels if you would like. Bones, are you going to continue on your journey, or are you going to wait for everyone to catch up?
Yeah,
Or is
it's
it,
my
going to be
intention,
like a
unless-
back and forth, back and forth? Like they
Unless
catch
there's
up and
something
then you go?
interesting, my intention is to keep like 30 feet ahead of Matt.
All right, go ahead then.
Which is, I assume a decent amount ahead of Jay.
Perfect. Clang, 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 clang. Yeah, that whole thing.
It's not that bad. See, look. Disadvantage. See, it's not that bad. It's bad. Clang, 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 clang.
That's pretty bad.
Could be
yeah.
worse. It's
It's
fine because
not
I am the
much.
knight.
Like I said, it's tight quarters, right? It's not that Ashes isn't necessarily careful or cautious about his movements. It's that there's just less room for him to maneuver, and he's wearing more metal than the rest of you guys.
What's the deal with this little drop off? This little ball sack.
It looks like there's a little nook, a little alcove. You
There's a
look
little ball
up
sack.
above, and you see there's kind of like a tiny titus from the top. So there's kind of a little stalactite up above, and it's just dripping water down into this alcove, and you can see it's just been worn away with time.
Grand Canyon, got it.
All right.
Now here we have a little bit of downward dog.
little bit down.
It looks like a butt. Somebody's trying to twerk.
Yeah, I get you. Oh, it actually does, just a tad. All right.
This is
Bones
sketchy.
is the first to come up to this room, so I'm going to describe Bones what you see. Real quick.
Describe it. Ooh, daddy.
What you see is the walls of this cave are stacked neatly with the bones of various humanoids and monsters. Bones that have been picked clean, covered in small.
Alright, well, I would definitely wait then.
They
Sounds like a
are
predator to me.
stacked very neatly.
An intelligent predator. Someone who's malicious.
Like they're nulled out, like laid out.
With intent.
To send
So-
a message.
So a few moments pass right before the rest of you arrive. You see Bones standing in the mouth of a cave, and
Tell
you
me,
come
Bone,
up.
what do your cat eyes see?
I see malice. Matthew. I see malice.
Matthew.
There we go. That's how it works.
Sucks.
So
God.
you begin to smell here the smell of fish and brine, seaweed. The smell is not entirely unlike the great deepwater bay far above you. A calming reminder of what the world is like away from the dark. You hear, again, that sudden gush of water a little ways to the north. It lasts for a few seconds and then is replaced with splattering and gurgling. And a
It's like
faint
waves
dripping.
crashing and sending water in.
Right. A few moments later, another gush of water heard as the cycle.
Alright, I loop around. With the quickest.
You find there's just a great column in the southeastern portion of this cave, and back behind here, neatly stacked, are more rows and piles of bones.
Alright.
Like, and when I just for example, there are literally rows of bones over this and all the walls. Now they're not
Very-
piled high. It's not like you just walked into, Nito's cavern or what the fuck ever, right? But there's a lot of bones in here. There's dozens of bodies worth of bones.
Dang. Well, I'd love to look through these, but I'll just get the goblins to do it later.
Gotcha.
It's like a treasure room for bones.
So you
For bones or
move
for bones?
forward.
Yes.
And
Bones.
as you move forward, you find yourself at a slight crossroads. So I got a bunch of information to give you. So uno momento, right?
Give it to us.
Okay. So in this large cavern, as you kind of like approach it, you can see in the middle of this cave, the floor begins to bulge upward and form a round, hollowed-out mound. Ship rigging and tattered sails hang from the ceiling like web strands and torn curtains. A small whisper of wind causes them to shiver hauntingly. The center of that mound forms a massive stone cauldron that you can hear burbles gently.
So it goes up.
Yeah,
and
so
then it's like a caldera kind of thing.
exactly. So that you can see it's all broken in a circular formation, and it just kind of like pushes up, and then it forms this big basin, and you can hear water burbling in. As soon as you take that all in, you hear another right, and it's significantly louder because it's significantly closer. As your Bones is the only one who can really see it right now, but the rest of you can see the entryway. Up here to the northwest, Bones, right? You see and can hear the splatter of what seem to be like small geysers bubbling up through the floor. And you can actually see just barely here, right? One of them goes off and water spews up, and then it goes to from a gushing to a splattering to a gurgling as it kind of like loses pressure and the water just splashes across the floor.
Okay, cool. What's this little outlet?
You see another similar effect to what you had seen earlier, right? A small series of stalactites, right, that are dripping down slowly. This cavernous area that you find yourself in it's just coated in a thin film of moisture, right? And all that moisture gathers up on these stalagmites and then drips.
Weird. I don't. Yeah, this way. No, this way.
Are there any tracks or appearances?
That's a
any
great
recent
question.
movement?
Sure.
I come back.
So one of you can, if anyone's interested, they can roll me survival checks.
I have a +8.
I will assist
Sure. By all means.
Bones with my -1.
26.
So the floor itself, right, is too damp and slick to seemingly hold any sort of actual track, right? There's no dust or dirt for a foot to leave an impression in. There's not even really mud necessarily. There's just this slick stone all over the place. However, right, you can definitely see signs of passage through these tunnels, right? You don't see tracks on the floor necessarily, but you see spots on the wall where like a hand will have brushed over the period of long ages, right? And that, you know, like the oils from your skin will mark a location like that. There are a number of these different markings that you would take as signs of passage. The only issue is because of their nature, it's hard to tell how recent the use was, but it's definitely has been with enough frequency to mark this cavern as habited.
And which direction do they go?
All over the place. They're
All over the
leading
place.
northwest, they're leading northeast, they're leading back the way you came to the south, to the bone room.
It might be another time for another compass kata.
Compass got out like that. So, I'm gonna move up to kind of that split there and kind of go through the motions again, see if we can get another bead on which direction.
Okay.
Yeah, while he's doing it, I'll lean over to Bones. At this point, I just like watching him do it.
Nice. Yeah, you go through the motions of your kata, and it points northwest now. You have moved
towards the sounds.
You have moved too far east, and yeah, it is moving. It is pointing towards the geysers, basically.
Okay. Well, looks like we're going towards the sounds.
Are you sure? Do you want to check again to make sure?
Try one more time.
I sure can. And I go through the whole motion again.
You receive the same result. Your lodestone did not err.
Yeah, it's how y'all do with swimming?
I don't love it.
That can't swim.
I mean, I can manage.
I met a dragon underwater a couple of months ago.
All right. Well, it sounds like you're the most comfortable in the water. Might as well lead.
Pass.
I'll go.
Wait, didn't someone get?
I actually have a bunch of aquatic equipment.
Didn't you get like a ring of swimming or something?
Yeah, I have a ring of swimming and a cap of water breathing.
Matashta's just hoarding all of them.
Who wants to lead? I'll go.
He's Aquaman. All right,
Oh,
so
don't
you
put
guys
that in his head.
begin
I'm
to
Aquaman.
move. You guys begin to move to the northwest, and as you do, right, you move through this narrow passage, and you move into a small cave that opens up, and you can see as soon as you enter into this place, right? You can see the small indentions in the floor, and then these kind of like stone cracks all throughout the entire floor, right? And there's a half a dozen or so of these little points, and water sprays up maybe 2 or 3 feet away from you, Ashes, kind of splattering you with this salty, kind of murky brine, right? And it splatters down, gurgles down, and you're kind of taking it back. And then not 3 or 4 seconds later, right, almost in like every turn, another one goes off, right? And they just keep back and forth going off as you all begin to make your way through this and it's hard to hear, right? These things are extremely loud when they go off, but nothing happens per se.
Someone else can lead for a minute. I gotta do something.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna take the lead on this one just in case.
Yep.
I'll head up to the front of the pack and just kind of keep moving along.
So you head up and you find another narrow passageway, and you can see beyond it, right? It bells out into a much larger cavern.
Wow.
Larger than either of the ones that you've been in so far.
All right. I'm assuming Bones is keeping up with us, right?
Yeah, I'll move him along with us. So, as you
poking
move
forward.
as you move to about this point, you start to notice things about this large cavern. Okay? So, what you notice? Large shells the size of great dinner platters encrust the walls here. Greens, reds, blues, all creating an almost hypnotic pattern of spirals. Small waterlogged desks, shelves, and tables dot the walls, full of vile-looking concoctions, moldy books, and various trinkets, most covered in rust or patina. The uneven floor of this cavern has several shallow points full of murky water. The water on one of these pools ripples. Lifting slowly up from it is a startling visage. Seaweed hair, grime-covered aquamarine skin, and a grinning maw filled with blackened rows of serrated teeth. A second pool burbles, then a third, as 2 more of these figures rise up. They continue rising, up until their bodies fully crest the surface of the murky pools, and below them rise the bodies of giant crabs. There is a moment
God.
of horror when you cannot place the difference between the crab and the woman, and you think perhaps they are part of a whole. But then you're able to pinpoint the beginning of one and the end of the other. 3 figures seated upon 3 giant crabs. And un momento. I actually get a handout with this one.
I had a nightmare
Why?
once that Ugh.
Oh, no, thank you.
Disgusting.
Oh no.
Kill them.
All right. As
Well, now we know what they
soon-
are.
Right? Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, they make no hiding of their nature. As they come up out of the burbling pools, right? There's a mixture of chatter, right? And you can hear the psh, psh geysers behind you, right? And one of them kind of stretches and yawns, and she says, "Welcome, welcome to our humble abode. I am Gurgle Brine." And another one immediately catches up, right? I am Coral Black. And this one, looking aloof on her giant crab. And then the third one speaks up, and she has this almost just robust, jovial nature, right? And she goes, "I'm Cauldra Cuttlefingers. Welcome, welcome. We're so happy to..." And she gets cut off. The original one, Gurgle Brine, says, "Enough, Cauldra. We didn't ask for your input, did we? Come, strangers, come. Join us."
I want to lean over to Matt and be like, "Can we kill these?"
Go ahead, admit that you hate ugly people.
Wow.
Wow.
Immediately, Gurgle says, "Don't be shy now. We wish to have words with you. We have
By speaking to-
seen you deal quite well with our doorman."
No memory of who that is or what that is.
Drider.
The driver.
Oh,
I
the woman.
I talk into
Well.
Ash's head and I say, well, I probably shouldn't trust them, so let's hear what they have to say.
All right, we go forward.
As soon as you guys are kind of like stalling, right? The aloof one, the one on the far right, Coral Black,
Right.
she says, "We're scaring them, sisters. We should be more welcoming." And Cauldra kind of like puts her fingers up in the air and she wiggles them. The thick, wet, like kind of bloated, dead fingers, right? She says,
Thick and wet.
"Oh,
So-
no secrets here. You're all welcome. No worries.
So-
Come.
Player knowledge question: is she called Cuttlefingers because she likes to get handsy, or is it she's just named after? Do they look like fat little cuttlefish?
They look like fat little cuttlefish."
Okay, all right.
She just
He
likes to
also
get
likes to get
handsy.
handsy.
Yeah.
Well, So,
I was really hoping it wasn't the former.
Noticeably, right, as you all kind of move forward, none of the sea hags make any motions, no signs of threats or anything like that, and their crabs, their mounts, are docile. They stand placid, unmoving, except for one. Gurgle's crab is a little more
Under strain.
peppy,
Oh.
footloose than the other two. You can
Yo, that crab
see
dancing?
on either of its two forelegs, right? It has these large metal greaves.
And it's got feet. It's got shoes.
It's got like shin guards on its crab legs, basically.
Wow.
And it seems to be like tippy tapping with those two legs specifically.
Weird. Is that what we're looking for,
Showing off.
Matthew?
Are those the artifacts?
I'm sorry, I got distracted. What is on them?
Nope.
Probably
lose-
your sacred
You
artifact.
lose the artifacts. They're gone now. They've been shipped. You see the crab that Gurgle Brine is riding seems to be wearing greaves.
The fucking crab wearing my boots.
You grab her in your boots.
Piece of shit.
Matashtai, it does not take you mere moments after seeing them to identify them as relics of your order. But as this is
Awesome.
happening, right, Gurgle Brine continues speaking. She says, Yes, you dealt quite handily with the Drider. You know, we have been looking for useful allies in the area ever since the Drow showed up. Not the nicest fellows, I would say.
Yeah.
Actually, completely agree with that sentiment.
Oh.
100%.
Absolutely. Well, we lead a quiet life here, making simple...
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over the geysers. Could you say that again? You live a what life
We
here?
lead a quiet life here! And so, Gurgle continues to talk to you. Caldra and Coral seem to take her lead, right? So Gurgle says, Is this your first time in the Sargroth River?
Yeah, we're exploring.
Ah,
Also
yes.
venturing.
Such fun,
We're
such fun. It has been many, many years since my sisters and I have been able to explore or venture far from our humble home. Maybe one day soon. I could feel the itch, and Caldra, Cuddlefingers, kind of like giggles. Oh, she feels an itch, all right. Right? And Coral and Gurgle both just turn and give Caldra these just scathing glares, right? And Caldra just kind of like shuts up and giggles to herself a little bit. Gurgle says, Come, I do not mean to dominate the conversation. Tell me of yourselves. Introduce yourself.
I'm Ashes.
Hello,
And this is-
Ashes. It's been some time since we've seen one of your ilk. Yes.
Same can be said for you.
You've met others? Sisters?
I have not met one of your, I have definitely not seen ones use seaweed as elegantly as you.
Are you flattering that?
Coral kind of like
Ugh.
pushes her hair up, like
Ash-
she does
Ash
the
is trying
she
to
does the whole
seduce
like, yes, well, we do our best in these
Let's see.
trying times.
Rolling to not gag.
What you get?
I kind of.
Great.
Wonderful, right? They like vomit. Vomit's a good sign to them.
Gross.
Go over and eat it up.
The crabs absolutely will. So, Gurgle smiles and says, Yes. And the rest of you?
My name's Matt.
Matt. You
And I'ma
have
steal
an
your
odd
shoes.
seeming about you. And you see she kind of like sniffs. She sticks one of her fingers like into her mouth. And she points it out. Yes. You have the taste of other world about you. Tell me, Matt, where are you from?
Little place called Eberron.
Yes. Not incredibly familiar, but it rings a bell. Tell me, how do you find our fair abode?
Real nice. Got a certain coziness to it.
Sisters, they're so tense. Relax. The rest of
it's
you.
It's a little loud.
Yes, the geysers are, well, You get used to them after such a long time. Really, it's soothing once you reach the 2nd or 3rd century.
Good lord. I imagine that's how like Japanese people like why they put out like those sozus,
Oh,
the
gotcha. Yeah, the
Oh, see, I love those.
gotcha. So
Yeah.
Cauldra, not Cauldra, a Gurgle gestures to Ezra and Bones. And you two?
I'm Bones.
It's been long times. You've had the pleasure of entertaining a tabaxi. A while there, we couldn't find your ilk. At least they were hard to come by.
Yeah, guess so.
And you?
Hi, my name's Ezra.
Yes.
Fireball. Cast fireball.
Hello, Ezra.
it's not wide enough. It's not gonna get them all.
Hello.
Well, now that we are all properly introduced, perhaps you would like some refreshments.
Yeah, you got a lot of nice bones in that other place.
Oh,
Where'd you get all them?
interested? Oh, well.
Yeah, as my name suggests, I sure do love bones.
Oh, well, let's just say, as much of a nuisance as the drow are, it is easy pickings at the moment. Oh, why one merely needs to sit by the river for a few minutes before another body comes
Actually, got a question about
floating
that.
down.
Speaking of the river, have you seen a ferryman on the river?
Ah, yes, the ferryman. An interesting fellow. Doesn't speak much, but it's the honorable sort.
Good
as
work
long as you have
ethic.
coin.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm assuming he just takes you to and from places on the river?
It's his job. Yes.
Who is he employed by?
Ah, well,
Himself.
I believe his employer is the master of this dominion.
Oh, and do you happen to have any encounters with Mr. Blackcloak?
Oh, well, we have been here quite some time, yes, so we are familiar. Though we do not always enjoy the pleasure of each other's company.
I can
Still,
see that.
no bad blood or anything like that.
Good blood.
Only good.
So you said you were looking for some allies for something?
Well, yes. As we said, we have been here for quite a long time. A pleasant place. Our own riverfront location. Much good time. But the drow are a menace. The Legion before them, they understood their place, the reason for existing in the ecosystem. But the drow are greedy. They wish everything theirs.
They are greedy.
We just wish for things to return to what they were. Simpler times. The day. We didn't have to worry about a invasion into our humble home.
Speaking
No.
of
The maddened-induced creation have proven to be interesting guard dogs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, have you had any interactions with the hobgoblin Ezrah?
Yes, well,
Didn't
not
she say that earlier?
directly, but the Legion is well known to us.
Right,
Us to them.
right. Have they been problematic?
Ah. Over the years, occasional issues will arise, but we have always come to a understanding. The Legion can be negotiated. The Drow, well, they will negotiate for a time till they find a way to slip the knife in your back.
That doesn't sound like fun.
That tracks.
It has been, and Cauldra kind of overrides Gurgle for a second, and she puts her hands up again and waving her fingers, just so stressful. And again, Gurgle and Coral both kind of turn and look at her and just like roll their eyes. And Cauldra is like,
So I'm assuming they're gonna want us to deal with the Drow. We're gonna meet Azarok, and we're gonna collab together. And Legion, with us, we're going to storm the Drow and drive them out.
Yeah, I doubt that's gonna happen.
You have quite the
That sure is
Wow.
good storytelling.
quite the imagination.
Okay, cool. So you want us to deal with the Drow?
oh, well, I wouldn't say that. Grim, we like having friends. Drow aren't friends. Would like to be friends. That would be wonderful.
I don't know. They're kind of rubbing off on me.
So, of course, if you
Might want to get that checked out.
Right.
we
Might
understand.
touch something.
We understand there are all different kinds. So if you are the type that prefers compensation, we are not without our means.
Well, I think we could probably come to some sort of agreement. But what exactly are you looking for us to do first?
Well, if we're being honest, we would want the Drow driven from this level.
It's a big ask. They got
It
quite
is.
a sizable
It is.
force.
Are you normally not honest?
Ah, well, we are honest with our friend, and we're always honest in deal making. You have to be, or else. And she kind of like grins with her sharp black serrated teeth.
Oh boy.
Imagine kind of
It
like
is-
Golem. when he
It
tries
is
to
not
smile.
hard to imagine that the gnaw marks on the bones you guys found in the previous chamber match these teeth.
Cool.
All right. Well, as far as the driving the drow out, do you have anything in mind in particular, or are you
No.
just looking for us to go in, weapons ablazing, and see what happens?
Well, I would say you
I
probably
think I can
have
imagine what happened.
several ways of approaching said issue. There's always the guns blazing approach. Sure,
What's
what
a gun?
is, but as you say, right? Yeah, you get the point across, right?
Actually, you
would
know
know
what a gun is.
You know what a gun
You
is.
know what a gun is.
You absolutely
Oh, yeah.
know what a
Yeah,
gun is.
actually I do.
I don't know.
Is it called a gun though?
What
Yeah.
are they?
Or was
I
it called a
think so.
pistol?
Maybe, yeah, fair enough. Right. Going pistols
All right, never mind.
blazing. There's always that option. And then Coral kind of speaks up and she does the seaweed push and says, or there's always the stealthy option. Slip in under cover of darkness, cut the head from the snake. Without their leaders, the drow will go running back home for reinforcements.
All right, who here can do enough damage in one attack to take a drow priestess' head off?
I don't know, with a good crit, maybe.
I just barely did exactly that with a level 12 character.
With two, third level smites?
Yep.
Jesus.
I don't think so, because the regular drow priestess you screwed up. It was the arachnomancer, I think, that you had the harder time with.
Right. Well, yeah, the one on the wall though, when we were leaving, I got her in one
Oh,
turn.
yeah, you got her in one turn.
Got her in one turn. So if anybody here thinks they can do
Well, you know,
those
so
kind of
maybe-
numbers,
Maybe one of you can't do it in a turn, but 4 of you should be able to do it.
we're gonna be like the ring wraiths in the
Yeah, absolutely.
prancing pony inn.
I'll just stab at the same time.
Oh man, that music is playing in my head now.
Mm-hmm.
So Coral says that, right? And she's kind of like, a stealthy approach. And then Cauldra speaks up and she waggles her fingers and says, or you can go the ally approach. The Legion's already suffered several setbacks with the drow. I'm sure they'd be looking for allies.
Do we want to just tell them what the drow asked us to do? Asked us to do.
I don't care.
Say whisperingly across the group.
Well, I mean, they seem to be pretty honest with us. I don't see why we can't be as well.
So we've spoke with Lady Teresa.
Ah, a singularly unpleasant individual, yes.
I say spoke with. It was more like spoke at.
At this point in time, right? They're no the sisters are no longer just sitting there stationary. Like they're kind of moving around. Their crabs have gotten. They're no longer complacent. They're kind of like.
Was
bored,
riding up on the crabs just like a show?
Absolutely. So the crabs start moving about, and as the crabs are moving about, right, the others are just doing things like they're snagging things off shelves and grabbing like a book and rifling through it. Coral kind of like leans back on her crab and she grabs what looks to be like a tuning fork or something like that, and she starts to like fly through her seaweed hair with it like she's combing it, right? So
there's like plenty of seaweed.
They visibly relax around you all, right? They're still giving you their attention, right? But they begin to kind of like move around as if they're comfortably in their abode entertaining guests.
They're relaxed. Now we attack.
To the point to where Gurgle Brine actually turns and swipes a big old pot, it looks like a coffee pot type thing, off of one of the tarnished waterlogged shelves, right? And the crabs kind of tippy tapping, dancing along, right, across this little open space, and she whoosh, 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 like pulls out just a myriad of vessels, right? A little tarnished copper cup, a big like pewter mug, right? And she kind of like arrays them out, and she begins to like pour this horrid black, almost paste-like consistency out of this coffee pot and into these glasses, right? As this conversation is
But
happening.
as I see her doing, I'm like, please, caffeine don't sit well with me.
Well, no tea for this one. Ah, the rest of you?
We just rested and I ate a bunch of rations and drank a lot. I'm good.
Ah,
I'm really good.
I understand, I understand. Still got the jitters. Well, maybe next time. Trust takes time to establish, yes.
Can't help it. The old tum-tum is full.
I'll drink it. What is it, bone broth?
Says, it's broth, yes. But bones, no.
Yeah, whatever, I'll drink it.
This is a
Time to get
special
high.
one. So if you approach, she will like kind of meet you halfway on the back of her giant crab. She as he's tippy tapping over there, right? She'll be like, "Whoa, calm, fiddler, calm. Don't jostle me. All
Fiddler?
right."
His name is Fiddler.
Yes, his name is Fiddler. He's such a cute one. All right. And she
Yeah,
like
whatever.
grabs
I'll take
the
it.
pewter mug and like hands it down to you. And she takes like if no one else is drinking, right? Like she takes the little tarnished copper cup, right? And it's sludge as it comes out, right? And she just kind of like drinks it down.
Does she chew it? before swallowing?
There's definitely a little bit of like it gets stuck in the craw type thing, and she kind of like has to. You see,
So
when she
gross.
does this, her throat kind of distends a little bit and bubbles outwards, and you can see it kind of like go down her throat.
That frog.
Right?
throat.
Yeah, that frog throat kind of scenario. Absolutely.
Such a terrible time for me to take a drink. God damn.
And she doesn't wait for you to necessarily like finish the drink or anything like that. She and Fiddler begin to wander around. She takes cups over to Coral, and you can see like she eventually takes a cup over to Caldra, but Caldra's last.
But yeah, so Teresa asked us to bring her the head of Ezrah.
She asked you herself.
Well, no, she asked this dude
Who asked us?
who asked us.
Ah, Ilnor, the mouthpiece. Yes,
Yeah, that's him. That's the guy.
that sounds about
I wanted to punch his
right.
lights out.
Ah, he is a little bit of a stuck-up prig, isn't he? Ah,
Absolutely.
We've only had one conversation with Teresa involved, but she hasn't spoken to us either. Rather rude of her. Ilnor, though, he comes around every once in a while, wanting to talk of this and that, listing our aid against the Legion, but we have no interest in that. So, they wish you to kill Ezrah, yes?
They do.
Must say that doesn't come as a surprise, but I would be remiss if I did not say that the Legion under Azrok's leadership has been, well, I won't lie to you. You seem like good folk. The Legion is the Legion. They are hobgoblins. This is their territory. They are not out for the good of your kind, necessarily. But they are no more nuisance than any others, and they do a valuable service. They keep the thing below coming.
Fair enough.
That's
I do
pretty
not
useful.
think the Legion would fare well without Azrok's leadership.
I mean, previous experiences would that makes sense.
So, let's say we entertain the idea of maybe knocking these drow down a few notches.
Yes.
You mentioned compensation before. What did you have in mind?
Well, we have much to offer. We make great
More
friends. But if you're looking for more material compensation, we have wealth. We have interesting items. We make a great many concoctions. Bones, did you drink any of the mixture?
Yeah, drink it.
It's a healing potion.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Delicious.
It's
I'd rather
the,
be hurt.
It's the
Yeah, I
thickest,
was saying.
most curdled, bitter-tasting healing potion you've ever had, but it heals your wounds.
Great. What is it? 2d4 plus 2?
Yes, 2d4 plus 2.
Alright, well. I
Please make
physically
a
can't heal
Constitution
less
saving
than...
throw.
Fair enough. Sitting.
Good. You keep the potion down, so you actually get to keep those hit points.
Delicious.
So the sisters will tell you, we make potions of all shapes and sizes. Delectable, yes. We would be willing to trade with you or even give you some for your services. And of course, friendship with us means continued benefits. Yes. We have
That'll,
much to offer as...
I kind of like look to the rest of the group and I say, doesn't sound half bad to me.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
They seem all right.
Now,
Okay.
I will say there's one thing that I'd like thrown in for sure if we should do this.
Yes.
Crap.
And I feel bad because he looks really good in them, but was there greaves on that crab fiddler? Was it?
Yes, Fiddler.
I've been looking for those.
Oh, you want his booties? But he
I
looks
do.
so cute in them.
He does look
He
pretty
does.
cute.
But I'd be willing to trade him.
Ah, Coral, Caldra, they want Fiddler's booties.
Oh, I'm down with the vapors.
Oh, Lord.
Ah, I don't know what we'll do. You see, Fiddler just must stand out from Chesapeake and Scylla. He feels unspecial if he doesn't have something to augment himself with.
Well, mayhaps we could trade.
A trade? What did you have in mind?
Well, let me kind of grab my.
Keep
I
in
guess
mind,
we'll
he
just kinda rummage
spends a
down
lot
a little
of
bit.
time in water, so it has to be sustainable.
Yeah, we're not trying to ruin the environment here.
Nothing
So what
that
you
will
mean is
rot
it's got to
or
be a magic
rust.
item that won't rust?
Nothing that will grow disgusting. I won't have him in the same hole as me, if that's how it will be.
Fair.
And still, if it's the only item you seek as compensation, that's be a fair deal.
Let's see. I have the
I don't have great items to trade.
I have the circlet of blasting with the crab like a little.
Oh God! Do not give crab. No,
Don't
No.
arm the crab.
Arm the crab for sure.
no,
That would be awesome.
no. That just sounds terrifying.
You know they would go for that.
I mean,
They would probably trade right now.
Specifically, would not let Crablante cast spells.
Crablante casting fucking heat
Yeah,
ray.
well, PC
Or
versus
sorting.
NPC, you know.
I'm fucked up. I'm fucked up about this.
I'm not gonna lie, Jay. They might give me the boots right now if you offer that.
I mean, look, I've had it this entire time. Have not used it once.
Well, that's your own fault.
Yeah,
Should have
it
been
really
blasting.
is.
Every time it's up, blasting.
You
It's
could
not
have
about
given it to
the
Ezra.
I think you
Yeah,
actively
look.
did not want it.
I don't know if I didn't actively.
I
not
think
want
it got basically foisted onto me at some point.
did.
Sounds about right.
I have
I think it
garbage
was like
Flipcast
Ashes
mod.
is the only person without a good ranged attack. Here you go, Ashes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
and
what we
that's
came
why I
down
ended
to.
up with it. I mean, do they just want money? Is there like a
We have no interest in material wealth of that sort. It doesn't do
living?
much good to us. Though, if you do have any soul coins on hand, we would part with those.
What's the soul coin?
Soul coins? A item of some use in the lower realms, particularly Avernus.
no?
Soul coin.
I did not know Avernus had its own currency.
Yep.
It's from the Descent into Avernus.
I have 2 not bullshit hilts.
Yeah, but they're not
Those
magical.
probably would rust.
Yeah.
No, they're not bullshit.
Not bullshit.
Not
mean
bullshit
it's
doesn't mean they
magical.
won't rust.
What about the bronze mask of Halaster? We could strap it on the crab.
Oh
No, I
god,
might be
I pull out the space helmet. Any interest in this?
Ah, that does look rather dapper, but she looks at you, right? Like she looks dead at you, Matashtai, and she says, "We're aware of this item's value, so you'll need to do a little better than that."
Fair, good. Now I know how useless that is.
Well, a free appraisal. Great.
This is how you appraise items in the future. You just bring them by. Just, is this worth trading? No. Okay. Is
No,
this
no,
worth
it's
trading?
garbage.
No. Okay.
I'll take
Off with
out.
the circulet.
I'll take the circlet out and start spinning it on my finger.
As soon as you do, right? All three of them, they don't all, because not all of them, Haldra and Coral aren't paying as much attention anymore, right? As Gurgle is. Gurgles, right? Her breath actually catches in her throat, and she kind of, and Coral
Am
and
I?
Cauldra both kind of turn, and they, oh, I must say, Fiddler is definitely crown worthy.
Is Fiddler actually a fiddler crab? Like has one massive
He's a
claw?
fiddler crab, yes.
Okay.
And Chesapeake is a Chesapeake crab.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I didn't realize this had a built-in attack bonus modifier on it. I thought it was off of my spell attack.
Mhm.
The
Oh.
fuck?
The crown?
Yeah.
The
No,
plus
nope,
5.
it has it
2d6.
built in so that it's actually useful for some random asshole picking it up.
Also, while it's on my finger, I'll stop spinning it, point like down the hall, and fire off a scorching ray. Just be like,
It
you
like
use
fires
the
down the
magic.
hall, and it actually does it just in time with a geyser that comes up and kind of catches it, right? He says, "Oh, well, you've used it now."
oh
How's
shit!
Fiddler going to shoot anything?
You'll have to wait until tomorrow at the soonest.
Oh no!
Ah,
What a blunder!
well,
This way they
Alright,
can't
cool.
shoot us.
Sounds like a one-to-one trade.
Right.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Not so fast. We like it, yes, and I can definitely see Fiddler enjoying a
I'm gonna try to
crown
put
to
it on,
lord
but my
over
horns are
Chesapeake
getting
and
in the way.
Scylla with. But,
Fuck it.
well, you're a singular encounter, yes? We trust you, but as we said, trust is earned.
Alright, so what? You want to test? Do you want us to do a side job?
Are we gonna do the trust fall?
Work with us. And then we will take your trade, and you'll get another reward.
Hell yeah, I like rewards.
I kind of turn back to the group and I say, "What y'all think?"
Chow.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, if we were already talking about alliances before, this seems like a garnish.
We wouldn't want you to just take this trade and then scamper off now. Never to see us again. That's not the lasting friendship.
Wouldn't think.
Bones does like to scamper, though. He's really good at it.
He seemed thought.
All right. So I'm
Well, sorry.
I was about to say, is this the same offer as like the drow thing, or are we talking about something else?
Well, if you're wanting to escalate the timeline, I'm assuming dealing with the drow will take a bit more preparation.
Safe assumption.
In the meantime, there is something
There were
else
many.
you could do for us. And I believe doing it will provide its own reward. You interested?
This is different than the drow thing. Or did I miss something there?
Yeah, this is
Yes.
different from the drop.
Different
Okay.
from the drow thing.
I'd say we're not interested.
Well,
Pulling out the double negative.
one to pick.
Keep in mind, we try to not harm innocent when we can.
Oh, no worries there. There's very little innocent down here.
I've noticed.
Yep, that's become abundantly clear.
Well.
You have several things that need to get done?
We have one or two aside from the drow. Not pressing concerns per se, but things we would trust your hands with. And things we would be pleased. Sisters, come, let us discuss this. And the crab's gonna over into like one big swarm, right? And they're all kind of like putting their heads together and low whisper talking. So you guys have a
They
little
really are
moment.
the Sanderson sisters, aren't they?
You have a little moment amongst yourselves to kind of figure out what you might want to do. While they talk, obviously, like, don't have anything, fine. But if you would like.
Gotta say, if these creatures are also super evil like everything else, I gotta say they're at least entertaining.
Yeah, and hopefully we're away where they can't hear us. But I say, if they're evil, it's kind of evil I can live with.
Do I recognize the creatures?
Them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Do I know what a hag is? And
yeah,
all that
I think
shit?
the hags are kind of like trolls in the D&D mythology, right? They're so prevalent, and legends and tales about them are so prevalent that you guys experiencing this situation, I think it's a safe assumption that all of you would be like, these are hags, aren't they? Like, whether or not you know of specifics of, like, the sea hag variant or anything like that, that might be a different matter, right?
Okay.
But you're definitely like, yeah, these are hags. Uh-oh. Right?
So, if they have what you need, Matt, we can work with them, but we need to be careful. They usually do their best to sweeten the deal on their side, and usually it's at our expense.
Yeah, I'd 100% agree. I will say that's not much different than every other person that's tried to hire us so far.
You've got a point there.
So maybe we build a little trust, get what I need, and see where that takes us.
I have become curious about this Legion commander.
Yeah, I'd like to meet this man myself.
I worry, based off of everything everyone said, that this guy's probably close to his prime, and if they don't have a successor that can step in to maintain the peace, are we doing service by maintaining their status quo. Things for us to think about as we're continuing on.
But yeah.
Not too many considerations for my venturing brain.
For my venturing brain.
I only got room for exploring and venturing.
That's why you brought me along, Bones.
I
Happy
find
to help.
things, I cut bones out of them. That's my modus operandi.
That's fair. All right. So I think at this moment, right, the hags turn, right, and they go, "Yes, we have decided. We have a little bit of a demon problem that we'd like you to
boy.
deal with."
Clarify?
Demons don't have good bones.
There have been some recent intruders in the area to the northeast along the river. They've been nuisances.
Can you describe these nuisances?
Demon.
It's
Demonic?
hard to describe that which is usually unseen.
They have tongues that do this.
Unseen.
But when they're around, they're
Oh, okay.
red-haired, barrel-chested, like great gorillas.
Oh,
And in doing this for us,
Look, I don't want to beat up a bunch of ashes.
oh,
he's not actually a demon. He's
cracking the knuckles, boy.
You're
I'm
welcome
gonna
to
take you
try.
out to the woodshed.
just gonna.
We can
stun
go
you
ahead.
with
I was gonna
his
say we can go ahead and add to the list things
Right.
that Matashtai has stunned.
If you do manage it, you can mark off tieflings and werewolves.
And player character.
It's really a win-win-win for me.
So the sea hags continue and they say, they've hoarded quite a bit of a treasure trove, I believe. Nothing we're overly interested in.
Where are these demons?
Northeast along the river.
Alright. Let's go.
Ah, well, if you'd like a quicker trip.
What? 1 second.
Yes.
What is the trade or the agreement? What is this that we're? Is this for the item that Matashtai is asking for?
Do this
or-
for us, and we will accept your trade. We will trust you enough to accept your trade. Your reward for dealing with the demons will be their treasure hoard. It is quite robust, I believe.
When you say accepting the trade,
Yes.
you mean the
circlet for the greaves. Yes.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure we understand and everyone's in
Oh.
agreement.
Come now, Ezra. You're not dealing with the devil here. No need for such particulars. No
Ezra pulls out a
contracts.
piece
Particulars
of
are what I
paper.
do.
Excuse me.
No contracts to be signed or anything like that.
Yeah.
I work in the finer details. That's just,
We'll keep that in mind in the future.
Oh, please don't.
Bones, you seem ready to go. If you'd
Let's
like,
do it.
rather than heading back the way you came, they point eastward, you can take that direction. We'll lead you back out to the northern river.
Perfect.
Oh.
Let's go, boys.
Will we find
careful.
any of your guards there?
We do have some allies there, but they are on defense at the moment. As long as you do not make any threatening moves towards them, they will do nothing.
Do they have a safe word?
Ah, they don't. Well, I guess they do speak, don't they, Sixtas? Ah, they'll hear you coming. Don't worry. They know
I don't know
not
if
to
they're gonna hear
engage at
bones
the moment.
coming.
Okay, well, that's
No,
real
maybe
ominous.
not, actually. Fairness. They might not hear bones coming. So, don't be worried by their appearance. The eyeless sockets. They're that way naturally.
All right, fair
It's
enough.
good to know. It was nice meeting
Before you rush off, right? They will say good luck, and I think I'm gonna go and move everyone over here, right? And then we're gonna go on break for 5 minutes. Let's take a quick bio.
Okay. Yay.
And when we get back, you guys can continue exploring. You can go on this quest for the hags if you would like, or you can do what you did with the drow and leave and then go to a completely different area. We'll see.
Yeah, but the drow will fucking jerk.
That's so hurtful, Jeremy. That's
know?
not what we do.
Look, you gotta gather up all the quests before you complete any.
Have you ever played an MMO? Come on.
So, we will see everybody back in just a little bit. Bye.
Is it
Bye.